Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Sonic Multiverse. After a long 5-month hiatus, we're finally returning to what has to be one of my favorite what-ifs on this channel. What if Sonic died? Now, if you need a refresher, and trust me, it's very understandable, I'd highly recommend watching the last 5 parts of this what if so you're all caught up to date. But without further ado, let's jump right back in. Gun Commander Tower held Shadow at gunpoint. "You're the monster who killed everyone I love." "What are you talking about?" It's then Shadow looked the commander in the eye. One was blue, while the other was gold. Shadow recognized these eyes from decades ago. When she was alive, although Maria got along with everyone, she had very few friends. However, there was one boy that she got along with quite well. "Abraham? So, you do remember me." "Of course, you cared about Maria just as much as I did." "You don't get to say her name. If you didn't exist, the Ark Raid would have never happened, and everyone I ever loved would still be alive." Shadow looked to the ground mournfully. "Maybe you're right. Perhaps if I wasn't created, maybe Maria would still be alive." Commander Tower was taken aback by Shadow's response. "All I know for certain is that I made a promise to Maria to bring hope to humanity. Now, if you want revenge, I will accept my fate. But first, I need to save her world." In a flash of light, Shadow disappeared to hunt down the remaining emeralds, leaving Commander Tower questioning if he had misjudged Shadow. Shadow quickly but carefully made his way through the cannon's core. It didn't take the Ultimate Life Form long to discover the red Chaos Emerald hidden within one of the many reactors of the Ark. Okay, just a few more to go. Shadow was about to leave when he suddenly heard a booming noise coming from the floors above. Shadow quickly warped up to investigate. Hidden within the maddening test chambers of Crazy Gadget, Shadow discovered the silver Chaos Emerald. But more pressingly, he discovered the source of the noise. A series of energy attacks and missiles were being launched around the arena. "Feeble machine! Who do you think you are to stand against Black Doom? You will suffer. I am E123 Omega, the world's most powerful android. Your threats bore me. Commence attack." It appeared that Omega had grown bored of destroying the Black Arms and decided to go right for their messiah, Black Doom. The two were fighting for the Silver Emerald and leaving a warpath of destruction in their wake. Omega's clawed fists retracted and unleashed their minigun counterparts, raining lead at the Dark Lord. Black Doom was forced to curve and weave out of the way, leaving little more than a fading afterimage in his path. Black Doom then countered with his own barrage of attacks, a series of miniaturized meteors and a couple red energy attacks, similar to Shadow's Chaos Lances. Omega proved to be a more powerful opponent than Black Doom expected. He was so distracted with this encounter that he hardly noticed his offspring preparing a Chaos Spear behind him until it struck the Dark Lord in the back of the skull. "Ah! So, the prodigal son returns." Shadow landed next to Omega, "And I'll always be here to protect this world and my friends." "Such a disappointment. Very well. Your friends will be the first to fall." Strange purple energy began to form in Black Doom's palm. From it, a purple boomerang made of solid light began to manifest and spin faster and faster and faster. Black Doom suddenly crossed his arms, unleashing the attack. "On guard! Swift strike!" Shadow slid under the attack, but Omega simply raised his arm and tanked the blow directly. The blade clashed with Omega, trying to cut the walking arsenal in half, but it soon fizzled out, doing little more than scratching Omega's paint.
What? How is this possible?
You underestimated the durability of this unit. Let us test yours. Shadow and Omega once more stood united, prepared for round 2. Rouge majestically flew through the mad space, looking for her respective Chaos Emeralds. My, this place brings back memories. Although she had to fight off a few black-armed soldiers, it didn't take the Master Jewel Thief long to get her prize. The cyan and purple emeralds were now hers. She was about to leave to rendezvous with Shadow and Omega, when suddenly she got an interference on her comm. Hello, this is a private GUN line. Who's speaking? Tails? Slow down, what's going on? Oh god. Now, if you guys took my advice and reviewed the last few parts of this What If, you may have noticed a surprising lack of heroes in this adaptation of Shadow the Hedgehog. Sure, there's Team Dark, but that's about it. You could assume that they're just out doing their own thing, like what they were doing in the side missions of Shadow the Hedgehog. You would be right assuming this with some heroes. For example, Amy and Cream are still checking out the cryptic castle zone. However, why wasn't Knuckles in Glyphic Canyon? And where's Tails? Well, let's check in on them. One fateful day, Tails was flying the Cyclone to Angel Island. Knuckles had reported some strange activity on the island, and Tails was coming to investigate. The young fox thought that he was prepared for whatever would come, but he was about to be proven wrong. The sky began to turn a blood red, with a series of dark storm clouds forming. We, of course, know this as the beginning of the Black Arms invasion, and although it had been focused on Westopolis, that wasn't the only place that was attacked. Station Square, Central City, and nearby Tails, Angel Island. Tails put on a determined face. If someone or something was invading Angel Island, it couldn't be for a good reason. Don't worry, Knuckles. Help is on the way. Unfortunately, as Tails got in close to the island, many of these invaders began attacking the Cyclone, ripping its wings to shreds. The Fox was forced to make an emergency landing in the remains of Carnival Night Zone. Okay, that could have been a softer landing. Okay, now what's going on? Think, Miles, think. Okay, those creatures are nothing like I've seen before. They're probably some sort of extraterrestrial? Well, if they're here, they must want the Master Emerald. His thoughts were suddenly interrupted by a voice Miles didn't expect to hear ever again. Gah? Well, those alien varmints better get in line, 'cause we're here for the emerald. Standing before Miles Prower were none other than the Witch Carters. Not you guys again. Is your boss behind this invasion? Oh, please, as if the boss could arrange something like this. She just wants the Master Emerald, so can't just give it to us so we can get paid and leave? You tell him, Caratina. Hand over the emerald, or I'm gonna kick your sorry butt. Don't forget who beat you last time, Behringer. That may be true, but there's no way he can beat us this time. Okay, Witch Carters, let's get... The standoff was suddenly interrupted with a large explosion nearby. The Black Arms were advancing through the park in their conquest of Angel Island. Oh, forget this. No bounties worth fighting those things. In a somewhat anticlimactic turn of events, the Witch Carters quickly ran tail. However, Tails would still have to contend with the armada of aliens walking towards him. The Fox quickly initialized the Tornado's battle mode and began waging war against the aliens. Though the Cyclone was mighty, the sheer number of Black Arms began to overwhelm Tails, They began ripping apart the mech piece by piece. Tails, recognizing a losing battle, began to get up. He quickly typed a code into the cyclone, patted it goodbye, before flying off as the cyclone erupted beneath him. Now out of harm's way, Tails planned what he should do next. Well, the Witch Carters might not be here anymore, but I better make sure the Master Emerald's secure. And if I can find Knuckles, maybe we can stop these aliens. Tails began his journey towards the Hidden Palace Zone. It took him nearly a full day, as he had to sneak past several black arms to get there, but eventually he found himself at the entrance to the Hidden Palace, in Lava Reef Zone. Now, there was a lot of mining equipment left over from when Eggman tried to steal the Master Emerald all those years ago, but Tails couldn't help but notice several lines of rail laid down, and not ones left by Dr. Eggman, and several crystals not native to these caverns. Tails pondered about who could have left these there, but then he heard a voice coming from the Master Emerald altar.
You thought you could hide your treasure in the skies, but now the Master Emerald will bring your demise.
As a cackle echoed throughout the caves, Tails knew exactly who had made that awful rhyme. He quickly sprinted into the Master Emerald altar, but what Tails saw shocked him. There was Knuckles, encased in a crystalline cage. He couldn't even move. The only thing the echidna could do was look at Tails, as if trying to warn him. Standing behind the Master Emerald Guardian was none other than the culprit behind this heist. It was none other than Witchcart.
Well, Visitant Tails, look how you've grown. And without Sonic, it looks like you're all alone. Now that you're here early, I can begin my revenge. And I'm afraid this is how your story will end.
I can tell your rhymes are just as bad as your plans. I'm the guy who beat you, remember? Witchcart snarled in response.
Yeah, don't remind me. I've hated you since that day. After my defeat, I pledged that I would make you pay. After I heard of your hero's death, oh so tragic, I decided to use the Master Emerald to enhance my magic.
Witchcart's scepter was glowing the same color as the Master Emerald. It was true, she was using the gem to enhance her own abilities.
Make peace, Fox, for this is your final hour. You will learn the hard way that chaos is power.
Magenta magic began to flow throughout the room. Tails, however, was ready for a fight. He reached behind his back, unveiling his latest creation. It was a red arm cannon, loosely based off of an egg blaster, but also designed after several files he had received from the Space Colony Ark. Needless to say, this gun packed a punch. Tails flew up into the air before firing down with deadly force at the old hag. However, Witchcart blocked it with her scepter.
Attacking while you take flight, I'm glad to see you won't die without a fight.
Like you said, Witchcart, I've done a lot of growing, and I've fought a lot worse than you. The two enemies engaged in an all-out battle, with Tails keeping his distance from the high ground, while Witchcart had to stay near the Master Emerald altar to keep her power amplified. Unfortunately, draining the power from the Master Emerald itself had the unintentional side effect of shaking the entire island to its core, and this got the attention of the Black Arms. One by one, they marched into the hidden palace, intent on killing everyone within. Tails knew that there was no way either of them would be able to hold off the Black Arms forever. Witchcart, wait, we can settle this later, but if we don't work together, we won't get out of this cave alive. Witchcart ignored Tails' cries, simply blasting frantically at both the Black Arms and the fox.
Oh, for the love of Walter, I won't fall for your banter. First I'll kill them, then I'll kill you. Then this whole world will be...
Through the chest of Witch Cart emerged one of the alien blades. She had been struck down. She began to cough and wheeze.
As the blood leaves my heart, this is the end of Witch Cart.
Witch Cart's lifeless body limped onto the ground, leaving Tails on his own to fight an army of black-armed soldiers. Acting quickly, Tails began typing codes into his communicator, trying to reach anyone he could. Eventually, he got a hold of Rouge the Bat. Rouge! Rouge! The fox began flying and shooting around the room, trying to stay alive as long as he could. Thankfully, the spy picked up.
This is a private GUN line. Who is speaking?
Rouge, send backup! Send anyone!
Tails? Slow down. What's going on?
I'm in Hidden Palace Zone. Knuckles is down, and I'm fighting an army of black-armed soldiers. Send help!
Oh, God.
Rouge quickly flew off to find Shadow and Omega, hoping that they can bring Tails some backup. And this is where we'll be leaving this episode for right now. But don't worry, we'll be jumping right back into it next time for the finale of the Shadow the Hedgehog arc. Yeah, I was hoping to wrap it up with this one, but the episode went on way longer than I was expecting. However, I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time, and remember to have a good day.